All right. So today was blowing up with messages. Even when you want to break, you cannot get it. So let's see. Oh, that one. Okay, so I've been seeing, and I might say it wrong, and I apologize, Anubis, the Egyptian god, and weird. 444 is a number. The number is 44. He represents truth, and this is the jackal for the animal oracle. 2 songs came out, so don't know how long this reading is going to be, but I promise you, if you're meant to hear it, the entirety of it, or if you're willing, I should say, stick around. Numbers 909, the years 1963 and 1964, numbers 5, numbers 7, 444 or 4444, and 333. If any of those numbers have caught your attention over the last couple of weeks, then this may possibly resonate. Both of the songs are from Bob Dylan. The first one is Blowin' in the Wind, and the other one is The Times They Are Changing. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? And how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Now, with everything going on in the world right now, why is my mouse not working? This specifically is calling out to a collective that is feeling what's going on, even if it's not hitting close to home. That's what I'm being told. So the ones that are sensitive to the energies changing on Earth, the ones who can read people very well, this energy that's blowing around right now is extremely detrimental if you allow it to be. The word segregation came up. Between 1963 and 1964 was the same time that Kennedy was taken from the world. Johnny Cash was standing out. I heard Blue Skies and Willow Tree. It must be a significance for whoever this reading is for. Do not criticize what you don't understand. The Knight of Swords. And then we have the Queen of Wands. And the Three of Wands. And then the Death card. A new cycle is emerging. And the ones who are sensitive are feeling this. Unfortunately, there's a lot that's happening in your life that seems like it's affecting you. And it could be because it's things that are close to home for you. So it's hard to step away from that and just keep living, keep promoting the positivity in your life. And I'm reading my little note of what messages came in. Another phrase from one of the songs that stood out was the present will turn into the past. There's 2 reasons why that came up. Your present should be your main focus. so that when it does become the past, when you go to look back at it, there's a smile on your face. No regret, no remorse, no looking back and thinking, I should have done this differently. You're past that era. So all the present right now that's building around you, it's going to be something you're going to look back on, and it's going to bring good vibrations and good feelings. The other thing that came out was Puff the Magic Dragon. Now, if you look up the research on that, yes, that was a cartoon, but it was a song too. That song was released in 1963, and the song, from the writers themselves and the singers, that song was a representation of the loss of innocence and imagination when you go from being a child to an adult. And By the Sea, that comes from that song, stood out. And Jackie Paper stood out because, remember, he was a piece of paper. So with this spread that we have so far, in pertaining to what's going on here, the winds of change are literally among us. And there is a certain generation that is going to bring that tide. Things are going to happen in that generation, and you are part of that generation. That's why this is speaking out to a specific generation and group of collective of people. And it's very like firm in, I don't know, I just feel that like, you know, you already know because you've been feeling this and you just can't pinpoint exactly why, but whatever that feeling is bringing, it's a determination. It's a, I'm standing my ground. And that is with the Knight of Swords. This generation is stuck, not stuck, I don't want to use the word stuck, but they are determined to stay a certain way, a certain mentality. They are determined to raise their kids a certain way, a certain mentality that they're taking from what and how they were grown up, bringing the good things and the good traits, and they're passing that down to their children. In the same sense, in the same time, you are also stopping the traumatic ties from filtering in to your future and your children's future. That is the difference between this generation that's standing up for this and the generations that came after. The generations that came after that are more of, and I'm talking, when I say this, I'm talking, I always get them confused. I don't know if it's millennials or Gen Z. I always get them confused. But it's the 80s babies. You guys are the ones that are doing this. And you might not even realize that you're doing it. But there's such a significance in this even happening. You have no idea the change of path that you are making for the rest of your future and for the rest of the future that comes after you. It is a huge deal. The Knight of Wands, controlling the path. In all this chaos that's going on, controlling the path, making sure that the present moments that will eventually turn into the past, ultimately in a positive way, are going to affect the future. The Three of Wands, making sure that it's being played out in a sense of you have different paths to choose, but you're being solely guided by your intuition and by spirit, and you're following that. And that is a huge difference in any of the other generations that came after the 80s babies. Big difference. And then you have the Death card. Ending the cycles. Ending the repetitive cycles. History is always going to repeat itself. how it affects you, your life, and your future, and your future's future, depends on you. That's what I'm being told. And it's funny because this is a bigger picture than what people are making of it. This is a huge deal because when generations change the path and stop those traumatic ties from entering their present and their future, it literally changes the course of the energy on this earth. When there's more of that, this is a good bad theory. We have to have both, the yin and the yang. But when good overcomes evil, that changes the whole path of how it's going to affect things. And because you're part of it, you too are affected by it in a positive way. The Eight of Swords. There are many people who are on this train to make this world a better place, but there are also many people that don't see the good in what this generation is trying to do, and they're fighting it. They're completely naive to it. They don't even realize the destruction that is being caused because of it. And 1963 and 1964 are significant because that was a huge issue with segregation. The fact that we had a leader that was taken. Two people were actually taken there at that time. And I heard think, speak, breathe it. Those were the 3 words. Think, speak, breathe it. What Spirit is trying to say is you're doing good with what you're doing. You're standing your ground. Times are changing. That's why that song is relatable to this. Yes, times are changing. And the collective from being born in the 80s, that collective and that generation gets looked at as stubborn. And rightly so. Because you're not just following the norm. You're not just getting in line and just following with whatever you're being told. No, you're curious. You want to know things. You want to become more knowledgeable. You want to educate yourself. And that's why this collective is such a threat to the negative energy. Because you're told this is how it is. And you say, hold on, let me do a little bit of research before I say this is how it is and I agree with you. That's not liked, because then you have not only an opinion, but you're actually seeing and educating yourself in really what's going on, and that's a threat to anything negative. They like to run in the shadows and play in the shadows. When you're exposing them with your light and your knowledge, that makes you a threat. So not only do you have it on your shoulders that your soul decided, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be an 80s baby and I'm going to be a part of how the world gets changed. Sounds all great and dandy, but it is not an easy task. You want to talk about warriors? You want to talk about the ones that wear their armor for everyone to see so that they know what they stand for? That is a very hard thing to do in this world today. But you chose this. Your soul chose this. And when he says the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind, it's a representation of the connection that this generation has with Mother Earth, with Spirit. It's so strong that it literally just takes a weather pattern to happen, and for you to already feel that something is coming. The Empress. There is serious feminine energies that I have been seeing and that I have been writing down. And they are not, they're not energies to mess with. They're coming for a reason. It is definitely feminine energy that's coming through, and that is the representation of the compassion that people are supposed to have for each other and for the world itself. And that's what's been lacking for the longest time. So there are so many higher beings that are feminine that have been coming through. And it's literally from all different backgrounds and cultures. They're coming together, which is the same thing that this generation is doing. They're coming together to stand for what they know is right. Oh, you just wanted to come right out without even a warning. The Six of Cups. What came out next? I forget. The Temperance. And then the Ace of Wands. My sister actually helped with this message. This message has been coming to me since over the weekend. And I could tell you this, and she helped me out. We were getting it at the same time, and she would say something, then I would say something, so I got to give her credit for putting her 2 cents on her perspective of it, because she's 100% right. She said that generation, the 80s babies generation, something will happen that is going to make everybody remember that generation. Not from the 80s, but what the 80s babies did once they became adults. What happened when they became adults? It's going to be remembered forever. It will be in the history books. Just putting that out there. So you got your Six of Cups, your Temperance, and your Ace of Cups. And pretty much goes right with what I said. You're going to make sure that no matter what happens out there, you're not swaying. You're not going to be provoked. You're not going to be swayed to follow along in the line of the disbelief and of the audacity of just the lies. It's not going to happen. You are going to make sure that you stand true to what you own and what you believe. And when I say own, I don't mean your materialistic things. I mean what you own in here. Nothing from the outside world is going to sway that, because out of all the generations for quite a while, this is the first one in a long time that is educated on the fact that trauma affects every lineage from there on. And they're stopping that. They're not allowing that anymore. You are not allowing that anymore. And the Ace of Wands, you're taking full control of how the negativity is going to be handled from this point on, so that it doesn't affect you or the ones who come after you the way it did you. The things that went on when 80s babies were kids, we were naive to it until we started to get older and you started to see things for really what they were. And from that point on, because of that education that you gave yourself, nobody else did. You did this yourself. You educated yourself in what was going on that you didn't see when you were a kid. It brought true light to a lot of dark situations. And that was the flag going up saying, not surrender, but guess what? It is on. It is time. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen with my hand on it as well. This is not going to bypass me without me playing a part in this role to make sure that my path and the paths after me do not carry this trauma. Let's see what else the song says. Oh, not that one, the other one. The times are changing. I know this song, but come gather around people wherever you roam. Now, I did say there are multiple different goddesses at play here. That resonates with that because it's proof that no matter what background you come from, what culture you are, what your beliefs are, the one thing that we all have in common is wanting peace, love, harmony, and compassion on this earth for each other and for the world and for all who come after us. We have that one big thing in common, and for whatever reason, nobody can keep sight of that. The 80s babies, you see that. You have come to the realization of that. You also, it's so weird because I see like someone in armor, but underneath that armor is all this flowing water. And what that is representing to me is the flow of change, the flow of the compassion and the love for others and for Earth. But the armor is what's protecting it, and that's what makes this totally different for the 80s babies compared to the generations that came after, because you're not backing down. That is the difference. You're not backing down. And admit that I didn't even get that far yet. And admit that the waters around you have grown. Now, what did I just say about seeing the flowing water underneath the armor? And accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. Alexa, stop. I didn't even say her name. She does this to me all the time. They're listening. And accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, and you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. She's playing music right now. Alexa, stop. I can't. Why is she doing that? Anyway, and you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. It's not a warning. You know to swim. You have no hesitation with that. 8 of Cups. You are not afraid to do what you need to do to make sure that your lineage, the negativity from your lineage and the trauma does not filter through to you. It did at first, but you're breaking the cycles. You are breaking the cycles one by one. And that I keep getting told there's so many cycles being broken one after the other, and it's coming from the generation from the 80s babies. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. What did I say? It's you're bringing the times of change. And it is going to be like a war. But you are all ready for it. There is no need to fear. You have spirit right behind you. You have these higher beings they're here. They are here on Earth. They're walking around. They are here. I feel them. There's so many different signs coming through, confirming that. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still spinning, the Wheel of Fortune. And there's no telling who that it's naming, for the loser now will be later to win. Let me say that again. For the loser now will be later to win. And I just said, you carried those traumas with you for a long time, but you got to a point where you realized that those traumas and what affected your peace needed to go, and it needed to stay gone. That's exactly what he's saying. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are changing. Could have just read the song. But I know that seeing the cards is good too. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. The Knight of Wands. I saw this before. I wanted to test it. You are fully ready to face whatever you have to face to make sure that times do change. No more of this, I'm too sensitive, or I can't handle this, or I'm not strong enough, or I'm just not going to get there. That mindset is gone. It is gone. And if it's not, it's about to be, because of everything that you've been doing to heal yourself, but in the process, actually heal your future. And then as a collective, help healing what you can in the world by spreading the light that you have. Come, mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand. For the times they are a-changing. The Fool. The only fools are the ones that refuse to change, the ones that refuse to grow, the ones that refuse to educate themselves in things and just follow suit, the ones that push others to feel and believe what they feel and what they believe without the open-mindedness that it doesn't matter what others believe as long as we have the same motive. We have something in common to work towards. Because there's a lot of that. And segregate, I wrote it down. Segregation. Whew. The Queen of Cups. You are going to focus, and you've been, on making the world and making your life a better place, a better existence. Regardless of any fool that crosses your path, they have no power over you. We needed the light in the dark. So anyone that carries that light within the darkness, you don't need to worry about any fools. Let them be. It is not your job to take their hand and force them to see. Don't stoop down to their level and try to force them to see something that they're just not ready to see. Don't force them to see something they're not ready to admit. It's just meant to go that way. Two of Swords. Two representations here. Sorry, they're being loud. Two representations here. This is the Fool side. Do you see that she's blinded? Represents that side. I don't know why, but this card always splits itself for me. There's one side where the Fools represent. They don't see. They're not open to the change. They're not open to trying to be better, to do better. It's not that they're stuck in their ways. It's not that they're resisting. They just don't care to change because they don't even wrap their mind around the possibility of the benefits that it can bring. And then the other side of it, where did it go?
You're good.
Is this right here. Oh, wait, that's backwards. Is this right here.
Are you still peeing?
That's how I see it. You see the side that is blinded. Oh, that refuses to be a part of the change and make things better because they don't think it will. And then you have people like you who are persistent and you are following. See, even though she's blindfolded, what I see is the two crows in her hand when it comes to this representation are guiding her. And the crows are representing spirit, representing truth, honesty, integrity, your instincts, your intuition. That's how that's playing out as I see it. The Seven of Pentacles. And then the Six of Pentacles. The willow tree comes in there. Right between that. The Seven and the Six of Pentacles. Why? Why does that come out there? It's just significant for whoever. I don't know why, but a willow tree, which also represents spiritual and financial abundance because of how you process life, how you follow your intuition and your guides, that you live vicariously with them, not through them, but with them. You walk with them. There is going to be a big situation on Earth. Nine of Swords. That's going to make history. But this is not going to affect you. It's not going to affect this collective or this generation. It's going to activate you. This is fate. That's what I'm being told. This is fate. And by this, by the sea, blue skies, and by the sea. By the sea, Hana Lee from Puff the Magic Dragon. One of the biggest things that a lot of 80s babies did in their adulthood was fully connect with their inner child. Not just to have that embrace of childlike mentality in your adult life. You also held your inner child's hand and walked her through, or him, through the traumas that you went through as a child, and you were there for you as a child for what you needed. That is why it comes off as, and I'm seeing the word, unstoppable. That generation, that collective is unstoppable. You will not back down to the norm. The Hierophant. You and your generation and your collective is going to bring more balance to society, to the world, to Mother Nature. And then the world. A lot of feminine energy has been missing on this earth. A lot of feminine energy has been used in the wrong way to manipulate things, to bring that dark energy, to affect people in a negative way. And not once did you fall for it. Not once did you get pulled into it or swayed into it. Not one time. You didn't even blink about it. Okay? So, you're good there. Oh, I was going to shuffle, but she wanted to come out. The Queen of Pentacles. A lot of your past, when it comes to grandparents, great-grandparents, and so forth, struggled financially. When this happens, when the activation finally comes into play, and you're doing what you're meant to do on this path, on this journey, your financial success is going to change for the better. And it's being shown like a reward. Because of you struggling as a kid with your parents, them struggling, and the people before them struggling, one of the reasons why that struggle was necessary was because two reasons. One, they didn't know how to change it. They weren't open to educate themselves to growing spiritually, to change that. And the second reason is because you're doing the work. You're putting in the effort. You are actually changing your path. Physically, spiritually, everything. You are changing the path of your lineage so that you don't struggle anymore. And the reason that that's coming in for you is the reward of you being a compassionate, non-judgmental human being on this earth. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay. God. We have the Ace of Swords. When what's coming for us as people to have to fight, you're ready. You're going to fight. And it's because of what you believe. It's because not only your lineage, but the lineage that you are making on this earth is so important to you. And that healing is so important to you, not just for you, but for the world, for everybody on earth. Because that's so important to you, you've got this. You have the connection with spirit, with your ancestors, with your spirit guides, with different beings. You have that as pretty much backup. I see like somebody standing here and then them all standing in a line behind you. Like they're your backup. The Three of Swords. You're going to piss some people off. The ones that are going to be pissed off are the ones that chose, I say that word very clearly, that chose not to do the work, that chose to not see things for what they really were, chose to think that they had the right to be judgmental to anybody else based off of their color, their religion, their belief system, how they live their life. This is gonna suck. I'm sorry. And I don't say that to be vindictive in any way, shape, or form, but you had a choice. They had a choice. You chose. And that's why when this fight comes in, because of the segregation, you're going to stand tall. And you have so much backup. As a collective, you have backup. So give thanks to Spirit and the higher beings because they're making their rounds. Listen, pay attention to certain things you're hearing. Pay attention to when you walk outside. Yes, there's birds everywhere. It's summertime. But is there a specific bird you're hearing when you're outside? You could be inside looking out the window, you don't hear, but the second you step outside, that bird gets louder. And it seems to be like it's right in your peripheral. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to certain animals that cross your path. That is them. That is their way of letting you know, hey, I'm here. I'm right here. And it's not just higher beings. Our loved ones who have passed are here as well. And the reason, and the last time this happened, but the reason that they're all here is not just because the veil is thin. It's because something big is coming. And they know that you're going to be ready, but they're here to protect you and to guide you through this, because this is going to be a tough fight. It's the good versus the evil. But you are protected. The Ace of Cups. No matter how they think it's going to play out, they're going to be the fool. And again, it's not to boast on the collective side that's ready. It's just a reminder to not fall for this, the nonsense, the judgment that they like to place. Don't fall for it. You chose to be a part of this time frame, to be exactly where you are, to do exactly what you're doing, to fight this fight. This is not just people against people because of their religion or because of where they come from or because of what they believe. This is also spiritual warfare that's going on. And that's why the energies are so... It's like I'm seeing what are those arcade games? The ping pong things where you used to play back in the day with the big screen and you'd press the buttons and the ball would bounce everywhere. That's what's going on with the energy right now, because it's not just people against people. It's a spiritual warfare. And there isn't, I gotta pick a side. You are either a good human being and want good things for not only yourself but others and Mother Nature, or you're just stagnant and you think that everybody else around you is insane. Well, we'll see. We will see, because it definitely feels very strong that it's not just one or the other, it's both. You have the High Priestess here after the Ace of Cups. Definitely feminine energy coming in here with this. Definitely, without a doubt. And it's needed, because there isn't any love and compassion anymore for people just for who they are and what they stand for. There's so much segregation spiritually and people-wise. The 80s babies, we're done with it. You're done with it. You're tired of living through life feeling this way because of all the nonsense. Plain and simple. I'm trying to find the... Okay. I don't know. I just... It's crazy. It is crazy. You have the Knight of Pentacles. The finances for your generation and going forward, because of everything that you've been doing, because of the good in you, that is going to change. The struggle that has been passed down through your ancestral lineage, it stops with you. It stops with you. So do not worry. It might have been a struggle for the very, very, very long time, but it stops with you. No more. With the battle that you're battling to change the world for the better, not just yourself, but the world for the better, it's going to change. Justice. That's that card drop moment. Forgive me, I didn't mean it badly. Your justice will prevail, is what I'm hearing. Stand strong with your beliefs. In the very beginning, we started out with truth. The 80s babies generation are the most honest, upfront, blunt people there are. And it's time that you shine. Because people need to hear the truth. The people who think it's okay to play like they're a god, that they have a right to judge. And there's a lot of them. And that's another reason why this fight is going to happen. Because of power. Control and power. That's not what you're looking for. And that's why justice is going to come in for you. And for the lineage after you. I said that right? The lineage after you? I'm telling you, I have avoided trying to get this message out because I couldn't get it out. I could not get it out. And that is the evil trying to fight the good to hear what they need to hear. I truly, truly, truly believe that. 100%. But it came in super, super strong today that I had to write it down. Certain things that were sticking out. So remember, like I said earlier, think, speak, breathe it. Think it, speak it, breathe it. Just keep telling yourself that. You're going to know what you need to think. You're going to know what you need to speak. And when you breathe it, it's the energy that you release and also that you share that needs to be shared. Your justice is coming, not without a fight. But remember, this isn't just for you, and you know this. You feel this. This is something that you feel. This is something you're seeing in dreams. This is why your sleep is being affected right now. You are fully standing hand in hand on this line that's ready to fight in battle with this spiritual warfare. It's happening. You're a part of it. You chose this. You're going to win. This is your justice. Peace. Love yous.